Topic number 2. We're still talking Comic-Con. Star Trek Discovery trailer. Now, I also, in addition to this trailer, and I want to know what you think about it here in a second, I also watched the panel. But before we even get in that, let's go ahead and let's just jump into the trailer first. What did you think of the Star Trek trailer?
It looked awesome.
Uh-huh.
Honest to God. I mean, I was watching the trailer. I did not watch the panel. I didn't do any of that stuff. Seeing the first one, having the questions in it, those questions didn't come up in the second one. I loved the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. They explained what the Klingons were. There was this kind of I love this. Love this question: survival or not survival type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Discovery. It just makes me think that they could do so much more with it now.
I know.
Than when we watched the first one, because I was like Discovery, and then they're like, well, we're testing new warp drives. This is how you're going to travel in space, and it's like maybe this shit never came to fruition for Enterprise, so maybe we can go in someplace where nobody's ever gone before. And this is the fucking it.
I'm so excited to get back on a weekly show on a starship in the Star Trek universe. I think about how much it is still fun. My brother and I think it was like almost a year ago, started pulling up Star Trek on Netflix and just watching it through again. And it's just such a fun show to get into. And I'm so excited we're going to get new stuff out there. And the people that are making it are such big Star Trek fans that as much as there's going to be some people that don't like it because, it's modern, it's a little bit different, it's a new take, you're always going to have some people. And this is probably the most scrutinized fan group out there because of the passion base, which just shows you how much love and admiration there is for this.
Yeah, and the fan knowledge of this, like, and there's people that know more about this stuff than they do about their daily lives.
Yeah, There's a whole world that basically exists to them. I know. It's fucking awesome. The fact that we're going to get Sarek, Spock's dad, is the Vulcan on the ship. Yeah. We have the main character, the woman, who I can't remember the name. Isn't her name like Michael or something? Like, even though she's a woman, her name is Michael, I think.
It was Michonne and she's the one from The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, she's the one from The Walking Dead.
She played Michonne in The Walking Dead.
Right.
I don't think it's her name.
Star Trek Discovery. Hold on, let me pull up her name here so we don't get a whole bunch of hate comments. Michael Burnham. So maybe that's pronounced Michael? It's Michael. That sounds to me like Michael.
Michaela?
Who knows? Whatever it is, maybe I missed that. Maybe they went over it in the trailer or in the panel, but it was kind of loud. But she was raised by Sarek because her parents died or something like that on Vulcan. And Alex Kurtzman now,
So she's a human. Okay,
yeah.
No,
yes.
You gotta go back up here. You just said something. You opened Pandora's box there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a human and was raised by Vulcans?
Yes. By Sarek, Spock's dad.
By
now,
Sarek, yes.
Now,
yes. The person that loved humans so much
that he married one. Now, Alex Kurtzman, the one of the the EP and the writer who's like huge success. They did Fringe on Fox. They did. He's worked with J.J. Abrams a lot. He wrote some of the Mission Impossible movies. He wrote Transformers 1 and 2. They wrote Star Trek 1 and 2. They care a lot about Star Trek, and they know the canon, whatever. And so he actually spoke to the group, and he goes, I know a lot of you out there are going to start saying, wait a minute, this whole time Spock grew up with like a human half-sister that wasn't really his biological sister and never mentioned her. We know, just trust us and wait. We know where we're going. You're going to find out. Because we're going to hear about that for the first few months now. People are going to complain about that. That's just going to happen. But the fact that they've got a plan where that's going gets me really fucking excited. Because they are very aware of canon. We said that. We did a whole topic on the show a week or two ago about how they have super fans that are fact-checking everything. They're being very respectful to canon. But I love that they can do new, interesting twists. And you know what? A perfect metaphor, I think, of this is Ahsoka on Star Wars, The Clone Wars. What? Anakin had a Padawan that we never knew about? That's either really going to go bad or it's going to go good, but nowhere in between. And it ended up going really, really good and awesome.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be similar to that boat, where because the people behind it, I've seen their previous work. A lot of them have done previous Star Trek shows like The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager before. And you got Alex Kurtzman as an EP that's directing this, and the cast they have is fucking amazing. They have that one guy that was from Rent, who's playing the first gay character on the show, which I think is going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see where this goes. And I love the twist that they're actually diving into something that could be slightly controversial, i.e. the human that was being raised by Sarek that we've never heard before, but it's still going to fit in the canon. I can't fucking wait for this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's... Yeah, I guess I didn't know all of that. That's going to be... that's a tall order film.
And apparently we're going to see a lot more of not just the bridge that we're used to on shows like this. We're going to see a lot more of the underworkings. What about all the other 1,000 of people that are working down there, and what's it like to go from that perspective? And we haven't seen that before that much. Here and there a little bit in some series and some shows, but not on a regular basis. So I'm really fucking pumped for this. And we know the special effects are going to be kick-ass. The Klingons are back. The Klingons are going to speak in Klingon for at least the first 1 or 2 seasons with subtitles for the first time. So they're not going to be speaking English.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't speak Klingon.
Different.
I will never learn Klingon. I'm not that big of a fan. I have no time or energy to put into that. But I think it's cool and respectful to the canon and the fans that really know that kind of stuff, too.
Yeah.
But, when does this come out? Is it October?
I can't remember.
I think it's October.
I think it's October.
I can't wait. Anything else you want to go into on Star Trek?
The trailer looks great. The ship looks great.
They're hitting emotional notes with it.
Yeah.
Can't fucking wait. Those of you watching, if you're into Star Trek, and I know you're passionate, let us know what you think. What did we miss?
I do have one question about Star Trek, and I'm sorry to bring it up on this.
That's all right.
Why doesn't Star Trek use fighter aircraft? Like every Star Trek episode I've seen, and the Enterprise and all those other things, there's no fighter aircraft. Whereas every other thing would have fighter aircraft.
Isn't that
there'd be the ship, and then there'd be when it came out to it, there'd be fighters around it to protect the ship.
Isn't that kind of the ethos, though, of Gene Roddenberry's original Star Trek, is that society has evolved to the point where we're not about the accumulation of personal things. We're not about capitalism anymore. We're all about just bettering ourselves. We're about discovery and learning and not military force and that kind of stuff. And sometimes that has them run into problems. But that the fact that Starfleet is not a military force. It is astronauts voyage, Star Trek, a trip out there to go learn what's out there. I think that's the whole point of what Gene Roddenberry looks to as the future. You know what I mean? I think because if you went in the military route, that completely takes away from the argument that we've moved past that where we think that's important.
Yeah, because I just think you have this huge ship. You'd at least have some fighters, not just shuttlecraft. And even in Deep Space Nine, it was one of those things.
No, I hear you, and there is conflicts and warring, but I think that watching enough of the interviews from the makers of this and everyone that's worked with Gene Roddenberry, I think from what I'm guessing he would say to that question is the fact that we're asking that question shows why we're in our society today. Because way in the future that he has, we wouldn't be thinking the first thing you go to is you got to have the fighters. Make sense?
Yeah.
That's my guess. Yeah. Well, I'm obviously not Gene Roddenberry.
Because you could just kill 3,000 people on one ship.
Yeah, and let's be honest, they do have weapons. I mean, those phasers and torpedoes and all that kind of stuff.
It's still just one thing. I mean,
that's
the reason we
don't
make just.
We'll see how this ship goes, because who knows? But for those of you that are super fans, let us know what we missed. What are you excited about or worried about coming with this new show?
Yeah. Other than the way that CBS wants to run it, so.
Yeah, I really wish it wasn't behind the paywall that it is. I think that's going to hurt viewerships. The diehard fans are going to watch it no matter what. Hopefully that's just a window before it's also available through other mediums, i.e. Netflix or something else that everybody can eventually watch it. But, that sucks to get the show off to the ground. I mean, they have to have projections for what they think, how many people are going to do this. But I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm fucking pumped to see it, too. But let us know what you think in the comments below.